Okay, internet world. My last video I said it was going to be my last, and I realized that I didn't talk about one last thing. So I'm going to talk about it. This is a burning glass. Anyway, I got my waistcoat and I showed that on the other video. So I'm going to talk about this whole transgender issue because it's intriguing. It is intriguing why people would feel the way they feel. And here's the thing. I had, somebody I knew in high school went from male to female. And I decided I was going to do a little research. So I found a couple of websites, and well, really more than a couple, but sorry, I need to trim my beard. My mustache, actually, I need to trim. Anyway, so I went on these websites, and I was basically doing some investigation because it's intriguing. And here's what I found. And I'm not saying this is true about every person who's transgender or calls themselves transgender. I'm saying this is the case with the vast majority of people that I've run across. Numero uno, identitarians. They are identitarians. They're not really going from one sex to the other. Their whole thing is being transgender. They're not going from male to female or female to male. They're transgender. That's, their whole identity, or at least the vast majority of what they consider themselves to be. Another thing I found is that far too many of them, the vast majority of them, are looking only for sex. Even if you talk to some of them, initially they'll say, well, I'm looking for friends or relationship, but the second sentence, I just said and I hate that. The second sentence or the second paragraph, it's sex. That's all it is. A lot of them, far too many of them who are in relationships, are not monogamous. They're not true to whoever they're with. They're very promiscuous, which is dangerous. I would say they're probably far more promiscuous than straight people are. And I know this video is going to get banned, going to be taken down. People, a lot of hate is going to be shouted out at me. I'm just speaking the truth. I'm sorry if the truth hurts, the truth hurts. A lot of these people, and there's actually a conservative person, there's a YouTube channel, who calls himself transgendered, although he does look and sound like a woman. But it's all about being transgendered. It's not about becoming a woman. It's about becoming only experience with atheism, or the only person I ever really heard about, was Madeline Murray O'Hare. She was an awful, awful, horrible human being. And she's dead, and I say good riddance. Because she was an awful human being, horrible. And anybody that could support her or her lifestyle, really sick. But when I first thought about non-belief, I said, well, what will I replace God with? What will I replace religion with? And what I came to realize is you replace it with nothing. It's just not there anymore. And let me tell you, it was a huge weight off my shoulders. A huge weight off my shoulders. Now, when I first admitted to myself and others, as the AA cult members say, I was very evangelical about my atheism. But I realized that was still being religious. And anything can be a religion. Marx is a prophet to the leftist. The state or the party is the god of the far left. I wound up replacing religion with nothing. It's just not a part of my life anymore. I sometimes talk about it, but I have better things to do, and better things to think about, and better things to talk about than being an atheist. So most atheists, from my experience, are not atheists. They've just replaced one form of religion with another. Some things that make a religion: prophets, priests, priestesses, saints. To some people, Madeline Murray O'Hare was a saint in the sense of, for atheism, she was a prophet and a martyr. And for others, it might be Trotsky. But there's the inner group and the outer group. The people on the inside, they're right, they know the truth. The people on the outside don't. You find that a lot with the left and people who think they're conservative. So I'm actually an atheist. Ooh, wow, there's some lightning there. Probably going to be thunder in a second. I'm an atheist. I haven't replaced religion with anything. Those of you who are leftist, you have a religion, you have a God. It's either the idea or the party or the state. Those can be as much of a God as anything else. And I'm just not a far leftist. When I first acknowledged to myself that I didn't believe in this stuff anymore, I watched The Atheist Experience. And I liked it for a while, but I found that, frankly, they were no better than the religionists. And they were religionists. They are religionists. Their religion is atheism. That's all they talk about, or at least it's the main thing of their lives. I find Aaron Raw and that idiot who tried to debate Jordan Peterson, can't remember his name now. These are very crude, mean people. And I want nothing to do with people like that. People like that are not a part of my life. And, I saw on The Atheist Experience people being really cut down, people really being attacked. And I just don't like that. It's not right, but you can believe whatever you want to believe and say whatever you want to say, But those of you who claim to be atheist but you're leftist, you're not atheist. You just replace one religion with another. So I've talked about 2 subjects. It's 20 minutes long, and that's it for this channel. I'm not making any more videos. I will be opening a new YouTube channel, but it will only be to watch videos. Actually, I had a little thing going on with a pro-Trumper, and I called her a snowflake because that's what she is. I presented evidence that Trump is anti-Second Amendment and pro-abortion, and she called me a commie. I'm like, oh my gosh, you're the communist. You're the one supporting this stuff, not me. But, you know, I consider those who admit they're on the left and followers of Trump and the GOP to all be a part of the same group. They just don't realize it. So, have a good night, have a good day, have a good life. Bye.